Hey folks, the Desert Artist here. You know, my mind has been constantly plagued my entire life by the theory or hypothetical thought of perpetual energy. Everywhere I look, I'm constantly trying to figure out how to apply that. And well, this morning, you know, I've got all this information in my brain and I can't process it because I'm not smart enough. You know, I've completed high school and I did some electrical theory type stuff in the military, and I have to put this out there in order to see if we can find a solution to this perpetual energy thing. Now, here's the things that I've came up with that are crucial to my hypothesis. Now, I spent a couple hours writing this stuff down with some drawings, you know, so it's going to take a few minutes. So if you don't want to watch electrical theory and hypothetical thought, then you might as well just turn it off. Because it's really weighing on my brain and I got to get it out there. So somebody can, with some brains, can put this stuff together and maybe come up with some sort of a thing to, I guess, a small scale unit. Like a university or an institution, or maybe that's where I need to be, an institution. All right, so here we go. There's the energy we have to work with, okay? We have friction to work with. We have gravity to work with. We have inertia, magnetic, and tidal. Those are the free energies we have to work with. You can go in with wind and all that too, but that's kind of with the tidal stuff. So the things that I continually bombard my brain are the pyramid, the four-sided pyramid, the circle, which is 3.1415 is the magic number there. The pyramid, the magic number would be 4. And then, of course, we have the Fibonacci numbers, which is, you know, the sequential addition of each number into whatever it ends up being. 0 and 1 equals 1, 1 and 1 equal 2, and 2 and 1 equals 3, and 3 and 3 and 2 equal 5, 5 and 3 equal 8, and 8 and 3 is 13, and 13 and you feel me, okay? So, well, there we go. 13 and 8 is 21. Then 21 and 13 is 34. So those are the numbers that occur everywhere in nature. Somehow my brain, a spiral, somehow fits into this thing too, and I'm going to get into that in the next couple pages. We know that the electricity we need is produced by magnetic lines of flux passing through a conductive material. So that takes into account friction too, because the electricity passing through the lines will create heat because it causes friction. So that's where the superconductor stuff comes in, and I know nothing about all that stuff. So I know just the basics and how to apply them together into a thing that we haven't created yet, or maybe Tesla was working on. I don't know. All I know is what God keeps putting in my brain and keeps hounding me, and finally told me this morning I needed to write it down. Well, thank God I wrote it down. So I actually listened to him this morning and did this and doing this video, and hopefully it won't be too long to bore anybody. So here's the thing: we need enough mass to provide enough inertia to provide power, because when you create suction of power off of that spinning doohickey, it's going to create a little stopping power, because it takes that energy and transfers into an electrical energy. Inertial energy. So this method requires a single point of uplift or stability. So it can be lifted with a magnet, which could be powered electrically by geothermal processes involving the wind and a tunnel and a shaft with multiple fans to create the uplift of air. And I'm guessing the shaft is probably going to have to be 2 atmospheres deep in order to create enough really uplift. And there's going to be vents coming in to provide for the more uplift of the air. So do you feel me? As it gets down lower, have to have vents in the side there, so when it comes in, it can suck in more air and blow more air out the top, like a dredge would work. Okay? You feel me now? Okay. Now, it's even worse than that, trust me. That's only the first page. So, now we have the lifting of it, right? Well, I guess we're not even the basis of how we're doing it. So, let me kind of show you here. Now here I've got 4 pyramid. You have to excuse my crappy drawing. I'm really sorry. I'm not an artist. I'm only a thinker. I wish I was smart enough to be an artist. Wow, or I guess I am an artist, but more in a thinking, thought, putting stuff together type thing. Not really. I'm a fire sign, so I'm starting a fire and then I go out quickly. So here we go. We have these little pyramids here, right? We have 4 pyramids. There are 4 sides. And on these pyramids, we have a wall of magnets, right, on this pyramid. Somehow them Fibonacci numbers work in with how we apply those magnets in there in a spiral sort of thing, because, well, this ball is going to be kind of spinning in a spiral. Okay, I guess even earlier than that. Okay, so now that we have this ball lifted up in the air and spinning, we're still going to have the air friction to deal with that too. So there's going to have to be more than enough power to surpass the friction of the air. Now, we have, as you can see, the magnets on the side there, you know, spinning a little ball, and there's a little magnet on the bottom there, and magnets up there. Now, they can be tilted at an angle. It's like a 45-degree angle or whatever. I don't know, there's probably some sort of Fibonacci number that'll match up with the right angle to do that too. I don't know. These can be tilted in opposite directions, so 1 attracts and 2 repel, so it has more that in a spiral type pattern that my supercomputer brain just can't figure out. So now we have the lift and spin, which is going to require like I don't know why I have 5 magnets there. I was in the process of thinking. On the bottom we have 8 magnets, 2 on the bottom, and this is all theoretical too. All these numbers can be changed, and the sizes and the dimensions, the type of magnets, and I'm just trying to get the basic idea out there so somebody can, with some brains more than I do, can help figure it out, because I just might be just finding the corner pieces of the puzzle, maybe a few edge pieces to put it together, and everybody else has got to figure out the middle stuff. Yeah, because it's all one color to me. Do you feel me? It's like the sky. Put together the sky. Oh, boy, I hate those things in the puzzles. Oh, wow. Okay, so here's another thing we have. We have electricity. Now, electricity requires a sine wave, all right, which is the positive and negative flow of electricity. Now, what this reminds me of when I look at this is not only do I see two halves of a circle, I also see a line of atmosphere. You feel me? Now, what I'm referring to in this is if you take a plate and you run it through a pool, right, and you get that little spiral, that cool little spiral that goes down like a big smiley face, you know, and it continually rolls throughout the entire pool. It doesn't stop. It keeps perpetual energy going. Interesting. So, that's the dividing factor in there that I don't know if anybody's ever put together. We need to have 2 different atmospheres in order to provide the stuff we need to have it keep going. Then we need to take those 2 separate pieces, this atmosphere and this atmosphere, and put them together somehow, and to make them work together. You feel me? All right. So, energy in a pool continues with perpetual movement of water. Sorry, this is my cheap version of a whiteboard, because I couldn't do it live, because, well, I'm not smart enough. I got to think about it a long time. Let's see. 2 different atmospheres require a positive flow. Continues matches up with the negative flow. Cyclonic wind flow matches up with the other. So we have the cyclonic wind flow that occurs between 2 different atmospheres of weather pressure that we have, right? We have tornadic action. Okay, same with a vacuum cleaner, them newfangled vacuums that have all this suction power. Well, we should be able to have the same suction power if we're able to build something way up in the sky to cover 2 atmospheres. I don't know how deep that would be, but it would have to be a tube of some sort to provide for the cyclonic action. And once again, creating resistance with the wind against the sides, and all that stuff. Whew, which is the reason why I said go down geothermically, and then you could add in and increase the wind power going up, because it's going to have the lifting power, which is, I guess, would be another form of energy. The geothermic heat value, heat rising, is another form of power. So you could use that to run the fans to provide electricity that's needed for the little magnet on the bottom to push up the big sphere up on top that's got enough mass in order to be able to spin around and be able to suck off energy for free. All right, now let's see here. And that's what I kind of got here. Problem could be solved via geothermal options to provide for electrical producing fans to provide electricity for magnets. All right. Okay. Page 3. Now, the sphere contains magnets on the top side to provide electricity production by spinning under another pyramid, where wire coils can make up the 4 points of the pyramid. Now, so you have those little arms that stick down the 4 points of the pyramid are actually copper wires, right? That go down, and they will sit on top of there, and there. Are you seeing something here? Maybe the wire coil can be here, right? Do you feel me? So we have more wire coils here, more wire coils here. All right. Does that Y factor kind of like bracket off? Kind of like what we're going to do underground, bracket off the influx of air so we can have that uplift of heat and yummy stuff. And yummy energy producing stuff. So, and each one of these are going to be able to be connected together. You see the points of contact, right? All these points of contact can somehow be worked together into another thing. I'm going to leave that out there for somebody else to think about. Wow, let's see, where are we on? We're on page 3, sine wave. That's sine wave, okay. Now, we do a spiral coil because, well, everything in the seems in the universe has a spiral. You know, it spirals out. You know, even the Mayan theory of time is like a ball of yarn. You know, it just continues to get bigger. It never can find the center. And that's another theory. Oh boy, never mind. I'll get off trouble with that now. Counterclockwise or clockwise winding of the wires, or the lane of the magnets, is crucial. That should be taken into consideration when putting this into a supercomputer of some sort. So this is actually standing on top of the other pyramids down here, right? And this little ball is kind of floating around in the center. Now, final page. These are the magnets that are on the bottom. Could be walled, and maybe the Fibonacci numbers play a part in this stuff, with the 1, 2, 3, and 5, and then the 8 down on the bottom, and then that's my theory. I'm throwing it out there for somebody to chew on. That's weird bug. For somebody out there with more genius brain than mine to figure this stuff out. Hopefully somebody can, because it's a theory that's constantly plaguing my mind, and I really need to get an answer, and I don't know who to go to other than everybody out there in the world, because everybody out there in the world knows something that I don't, and vice versa. You guys, together we can put this puzzle together. Please help and share this video, because oh wow, we need some perpetual energy. I'd like to get it for free, wouldn't you? Please. You guys have a great day. Be safe.